Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and we welcome in Coy Malone and Yolanda Starks White. Hello, Coy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Sybil. Hey, Yolanda Starks White.
Hey, Coy. Hey, Sybil. Happy Eclipse Day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Were you able to partake in the eclipse watching, Coy?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
did. I
did.
made sure to
Oh,
go on
wow.
break when it started, and then I made sure to run back outside when the eclipse was in totality. Yes, definitely.
So you guys weren't in the path, though, right?
Not exactly like we can't. It was visible from where
Hmm.
we are here in Georgia, in Atlanta, and a few of us had the sunglasses where we can see the actual eclipse. So I was able to see it. That was pretty cool. That was neat, and it did get a little dim, but I guess it wasn't as impactful as it was where you all are.
Yeah, we were
Apparently,
we were in the path of totality, but that yeah, I don't think wherever you were, and if you got a glimpse of it, that most people were impressed or affected by it in some form or another. And there are members of every group where there's one person who's more affected by this than others, and we'll talk about that in our "What's Really Going On" segment. Yolanda,
Sybil,
how are you today?
happy.
Why are you happy?
Because today I made a choice to be happy.
Okay. And every day your day starts like that.
Well, some days I wake up and I am happy because I feel rested and I feel good and I feel caught up and what have you. But when I have a whole lot going on, I make a sometimes an hour to hour decision to be happy and just remember that um tomorrow is gonna be different. Sybil, you know what's interesting? Even with that, Coy, I know some of us have challenges at work, and it doesn't have to be. Most often, the challenges at work is not the work; it's the personalities and the dynamics that you have to deal with.
Right.
Well, this show, I know I'm getting deep. Unsung, unsung is always a reminder of how things could be going well and it could be just what you wanted. And then the music changes.
Dum, bum, bum, bum.
And then the music changes, and then some nonsense is about to happen. And
And
things are going to go off the rails that for reasons nobody can explain why. But then 10, 15, 20 years later, you're like, we don't know what that was. That was just some arguing in the group. And it's like, we don't know what we were arguing about,
we
you
don't
know?
remember. It was just nonsense.
And so a lot of the times it's immaturity. And I've been having that conversation a
A
lot
lot.
lately about maturity, which has nothing to do, as you know, Coy, with how old you are. It is probably more about experiences and how you live and how you choose to react to different situations and circumstances, right?
right.
So anyway,
I agree, and I think that sometimes the level of immaturity, or in some cases insecurity, is not what's happening in the workplace, but it's someplace else, and how you deal with it affects how you deal with people in the workplace. Woo,
damn,
woo,
Sybil.
woo.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Whoa. All right then.
Look at the time.
Look at the time. Either we go gone and say good night, or I guess you gone with your little stories in your little newsletter.
That's our jewel for today. All right, everybody have a great day. Happy Eclipse Day. Okay. All right, Coy, let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter, where you are a social justice contributor. And we have young contributors in a number of different areas, including politics. That's Cameron Riley. LGBTQIA, that's his little sister, Quinn Townsend Riley, as well as mental health and wellness. That's Miss Aprilette Russell. And Coy Malone today gives us an update on a judgment that the New York City must pay millions of dollars for a class action lawsuit led by two Muslim women. This was really interesting to me. Tell us all about it.
Yes, so there was a lawsuit in New York City now, which the city will be paying $17.5 million for this lawsuit led by two Muslim women whose religious rights were violated when they were arrested. They were forced to remove their hijabs for a mugshot. And for those of you who don't know what a hijab is basically the traditional Muslim head covering that women wear to cover their hair. Sometimes they wear it to cover their face. They have other kinds that cover their eyes. There's even the kind that covers their eyes and has just a screen on the, you can't
But it wasn't
see
that.
in. And
But it
yeah,
wasn't that elaborate.
it wasn't that elaborate, right? But I believe theirs were covering their hair. So I just want to give everybody the distinction of what a hijab is, because there's different styles. So with this lawsuit, basically what happened was these two women, Jamila Clark and Arwa Aziz, filed their initial lawsuit in 2018 after they were arrested in 2017 in Brooklyn and Manhattan, respectively. And they were arrested on charges for violating orders of protection, which they called these charges bogus. However, they were forced to take off their hijabs for their mugshots, which is a violation of First Amendment rights. So not only these two women were, have gone through this type of humiliation during their arrest, but there are also more than 3,600 other people who are also eligible for payouts under this lawsuit because they went through the same type of thing.
Almost 4,000 people, men
yes,
and women.
Yes, men and women. So with the payouts, after fees and things like that are deducted from the 17.5 million, that leaves about $13.1 million left over. So each recipient will be paid anywhere between $7,824 up to $13,125. And this amount could increase if more eligible people submit to this lawsuit.
Wow. The ignorance and the disrespect evidenced by these police officers who should know. I'm not saying that they know, but they should have known about religious freedom. And they say that my religion does not allow us to take this off. And they say, okay, let me check with my boss. And if they didn't know, the boss should know. Somebody should know. But this just seems like a form of harassment that is just beyond the pale.
It is. It definitely is. I had a similar situation when I was arrested, and I had different things on me for my spirituality that are they're not to be removed 24/7. I had I guess the best way to describe it, it was a certain type of bracelet that was made for me that was not supposed to come off, whatsoever. And I have officers, picking at it, touching at it, and stuff like that. And to me, it's a serious violation, because this is something that I practice on a day-to-day basis, that I believe in, and it's a fabric of my life, to be quite frank. And so I felt for these women when they said that when they were forced to remove their hijab, one of them said that she felt like she was being strip searched, like she was naked without it.
Yeah, because when you're in public, you are the Islamic law, the rule of the religion is that showing your hair is a sacred practice, and so that's
So, Sybil, I know you don't know everything, but we just pretend like you do on the podcast. Do you know how that works in his Islamic jails? Like when people of that religious sect, when they go to jail in their culture,
mhm.
are they allowed to keep their full
in, in
regalia?
in a number of countries that follow the practice of Islam, yes.
Okay.
It's in this country where Christianity is king, and I'm not saying that as a derision or anything, but well, in my religion, we show our hair, whatever it is, but it's such a disrespect for someone else's religion,
Yeah,
and
well,
and
I
and the,
see, because I don't know that I see that. I get it. I get what y'all are saying, but for the purposes, because if you have a covering, then you can.
your hair, not your face, your
Okay.
hair. I get when
But sometimes a hijab, it covers. I hear you, but even one of our regular listeners says that she used to have to take pictures. Yeah, Z.
Z Walker on Facebook, I had to take mug shots as a part of my job duties and had to ask hijab, and they had to ask the hijabs be taken off, I guess is what she's
So
saying.
I'm just saying, I don't know that it's always so. I totally get you. We
But
shouldn't
that's
do
her
that.
job. That's her, and I would think that they would, for identification purposes, they would understand that because if they're looking for her, they're looking for her with, if she goes missing or something, or if these young women who they say have broken the law, if they're looking for them, they're not going to find them with their hair uncovered.
It depends on where you're going as well. Like with this lawsuit in particular, what the compromise ended up being is that they're allowed to keep on the hijab, but they have to show their face. So that's the compromise there. But if you're getting like a passport photo, things like that, then I think that's where it you have to change what you got going on because countries like Korea, for instance, they have certain guidelines for you to take your passport photo, which means you have to have on your shirt has to be
Same
buttoned up
here.
this way. You can't wear glasses. You have to look straight. You can't smile. Your hair has to be like a certain way. Even when I took my passport photo, I had a bang and they made me move it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and the same thing with
Right.
Jewish women cover their hair as well. And the way that some of them get around that is by wearing a wig. So I don't know if that means,
So that's
if
what
a
I was
Jewish woman
inquiring about.
gets arrested, does she have to remove her wig too? Or like, how far are we going with this?
That was my inquiry,
Right.
Coy. That's where I was going with that. That
Mm-hmm.
there are certain guidelines that doesn't necessarily always, unfortunately, consider all of the plethora of religions. So how do you deal with that? Because I think that
I
passport
think it's on
picture
a state by state
is a
or country by
great,
country.
yeah, that's a great example, Coy.
Yeah. So now I feel like this is, excuse me, more of a news story and more of a controversy because of the
Mm,
controversy that surrounds the Muslim culture and Islamic practices and the relationship that we've had with them here in the United States, and the perceived relationship that we've had and the prejudices that we have had
right.
as a country with Islamic persons and people that are Muslim, which makes it so hard to for some people to understand, I guess, in a sense. And not to say that it's wrong that people don't understand. I just feel like the prejudices that have happened that has grouped everybody that is Islamic or within the Muslim culture, it's unfair to them. And I feel like with this case in particular, that was an attack against their religion and their dignity as a
and
person.
and that's the area, that's the direction I would like for you have taken in the why you need to know, because there, as you explained about, and we didn't talk about it as much, but to talk about countries like Korea, or when you're going to get your passport taken. I know that, even standing in the TSA line, people will ask someone to remove it and say, well, this is my picture with my hair covered, so why do you need me to take this off? This is, I mean, because that's who you're looking for. You're looking for a person whose hair is covered. You're not looking for a person who had to take this off. You know what I mean? It's just,
Right. Maybe there should be designated people who um, intake persons who practice Islam, who are Muslim, who are Jewish, when they go through the airport at TSA, when they go through taking their photo for a passport. These are the persons that they're designated to,
yeah. If they
assist
have,
them maybe
if
in
they
another
have,
room.
if they have women patting down women, and they
Right.
bring them in if they're normally not on duty, then they should have somebody like you said. Or how about you just have the rules and have them up on the wall?
Right. Yeah. As I like to throw around this new favorite phrase of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Or getting rid of it, it still
Right.
exists. It still
Mm-hmm.
exists, and you have to not, I'm not saying conform to a law, but also be mindful of other people's religions and what their rules and regulations are, what their
But
laws
simple,
are.
there are so many religions out there. How do we know? How we know we got them all covered?
Okay, we may not have, but we got enough to know that you don't
Because
have to.
some of them
No,
are
no, no. Hang
personal.
on a second. You got enough to know that you don't have to take the head covering off.
Because that's more than just Islam. It's more than just Judaism.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just saying people do look different with coverings.
for
They do.
sure.
So there should be a solution, and I feel like that solution should be an intake person that handles those people in another room.
Yeah.
And not embarrass them in public the way that they obviously did.
Right.
That's crazy. It's just crazy. One of the other things that I look forward to on Mondays is Ministry Monday, and our friend Willie Mae McIver also writes a great piece about Christian faith, and the theme today is sacrifice. And from a biblical perspective, she says sacrifice is when we give a portion of our time, our energy, and earthly possessions for God's work and for His people. It's a really good piece, and I hope that you do enjoy them the way that we do. And she brings in a Bible scripture as well. And so she is really she's steeped in her faith and does a great job of explaining a lot of things. But sacrifice is something that we don't hear a lot about. People
Right.
sacrificing for the greater good or for God's good. And I really appreciate that. So thank you very much, Willie Mae. Among the other things that we talk about in the newsletter, a health update, the toll on our health when we try to be super women. And this is from Black Health Matters update. As Black women navigate life, we are tasked with balancing work, family, wellness, and many other responsibilities. Managing these things, we develop these invisible capes. And the song when we were younger, Coy, was "I'm Not Your Superwoman," but in many times, and many, and even this many years later, 30 years later, we are expected to be the superwoman. I bring home the bacon, I fry it up in the pan, I never let you forget that you're the man, and all that other kind of stuff. That's an even
I also
older
killed the
song.
pig.
Yeah, okay, okay, slaughtered that too. Right, right. Um, so this is something that a lot of women, suffer from the superwoman syndrome, and it's an interesting look at that. I talked about the eclipse. That was my first story, and the second story about the sick birds. We got avian flu again, y'all,
Oh gosh.
and this time not only are the chickens affected, but now a dairy farm was affected because the avian flu got was distributed at a dairy farm, and one of the people that worked at the dairy farm got avian flu from a cow. And
How did that
so,
happen?
well, avian flu, wild birds may have it, and they have their droppings, and it might have gotten on the cow. And the man who was the worker who was working on the cow got a little conjunctivitis, which is one of the symptoms of avian flu,
In his
bird flu.
eye?
hmm
He got
Conjunct-
bird poop in his eye?
well, he got it somehow from the cow.
He got cow poop in his eye.
No, no, no. It was bird. It was from the bird that
Yes.
distributed on a cow, and the man got it from the cow that he was working on.
Cow and chicken. Isn't that something?
And so one farmer one
Mm-mm-mm.
businessman in Texas had to destroy 2 million chickens, and
He
as
had
a
to kill him?
yeah, because of the flu, because of the bird flu, and as a result of that, that means that the price of chicken is going up in a lot of places, and the price of our eggs.
Oh man.
So we're
Here
all
we go
affected
again.
by this. We're all affected by this. And so take a look at this story about avian or bird flu. And those are some of the things we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. We have a round robin of topics, as you can tell. We'd love to have you subscribe. If you'd go to SybilWilkes.com, give us your name and your email address. And it's not great breakfast table conversation sometimes or dinner table conversation, but we do give you a lot of things that affect and our community, and we want to inform and empower you. SybilWilkes.com, name and email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, and it won't cost you a dime. All things are
Mm-mm.
free. So thank you very much for those that are currently subscribing. It makes a great gift to others, and the idea is to tell people about these stories and know that you can find these stories at our website. Um, what's really going on? Our question of the day. Today, bless their hearts, my friends Yolanda and Ward joined me and another friend, Lisa, that we met uh, years ago at another eclipse sighting, and humored me by traveling to a spot not too far from our homes to watch the eclipse and their reactions. And I would say, especially Ward's, that I described as bemused. He was he was like, I done some crazy ish in my life. I just don't understand why I'm here with these birds. I just, and I think if he had had on a darker pair of glasses, he might have pulled off a nap. He might have really pulled off a really nice nap because Ward is very, straight and composed, and he could have just closed his eyes, and we never would have known the difference. Um, Try to engage him in conversation. I think we might have jolted him a couple of times, but it was a perfect napping spot because we were like it was overcast. We were sitting in a bar area outside, and the trees were covering us, and there was a little bit of a breeze and all that. So they humored me, Coy. So my question is, what's that one activity or event that really excites you, while your people, your friends, your ace spoon coons respond in their own way by saying, so this it, huh? This what we gonna do. This how we spending our afternoon. You know how much TV there is to be watched? I think I heard that today. Um,
Dang.
so
Hmm.
what is that one event? What is that activity that really jazzes you, that really excites you, pumps you up, and you say, "Come on, let's go, let's do this." It's different. It's world changing. Everybody across the world, across this country, anyway, today was out there and going to see the eclipse. Let's be a part of this. And they were like, okay, okay, we'll go. So, Coy, is there an event? Is there something that you really like to do, but it's getting your friends to participate is maybe not as, and this is for everyone that's watching and listening.
Hmm.
What's that one event? What's that event or activity that you're like, yes, let's go, let's do? And they're like, okay, but you owe me. Yolanda, do you have anything? Because you were so kind,
Dang.
and you were asking questions, and you were
So, Coy, let me tell you something.
Hmm?
Since I'm controlling this, let me tell you something. It was awful. Coy,
it was awful.
Coy, girl, let me tell you something.
What?
If
Oh, well,
girl,
the conditions were awful where we
no,
were.
listen, we don't know the difference. All I know is we drove up to a place where we live in Texas, as you know, and none of us were there. And so the first thing Sybil saw was this real big pickup truck that says,
Let's go, Brandon.
"Let's go, Brandon." And Sybil was like, "What? Whoa!"
Mhm.
So they had all kind of stuff on their truck to indicate where we were and who we were around.
And who they were supporting.
Yes. So we're
Hmm.
like, okay. But I tell you, the beautiful part was watching Sybil and our new girlfriend. They were so excited and coy. Every couple of minutes, Lisa would say, "Okay, put your glasses on. Look. You see that?
Look
You see that?
now. Look
You see
now.
that? Okay, well, hold on. Now we're gonna look at another 10 minutes. Okay, put your glass. You see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I see that."
And I'm willing to bet you all the money I've got on me, which I have none. But I'm willing to bet you all that I got in my piggy bank that Yolanda didn't see any of these things. She was just kind enough to go, "Oh yeah, I see that. Oh yeah, right, yeah,
Well, it
okay."
was a whole lot of that. But hold on for a second. They didn't have enough wait staff, so we couldn't get nothing to drink. We couldn't really get a good spot. And then, Coy, they were smoking, and with
Outside.
my allergies, so my eyes are watering. like it's a whale. I'm coughing, my throat hurt. Now I got a headache and all that. And Sybil and Lisa was like, "Oh, isn't this great? Oh, wow!" It was really, but hold on. We thought we were going to be done with it when it was over with. No, we had to watch the sun to come back in its totality.
It is the covering, and then it's the removal of the moon from the sun. And you watch the colors change in the sky, because it wasn't total pitch blackness, but it was like a beautiful evening of, like it was turning towards a really nice evening with the sun going down, because that's what the sun had gone down. And also watching the birds and the animals respond to this.
And Coy, I have an appointment. So when we're done with this, I have an 8:00 appointment tonight to get my fingernails picked out one at a time with some pliers. That I'm looking forward to.
She really is a master of overstatement.
I'm just saying. It was cool to see. But everybody there was excited too. I mean,
no, they weren't. They weren't.
They were. A lot of people were looking. Let's say that.
A lot of people were looking, and some people were just looking to make a connection with someone.
But it doesn't always have to be me. I mean, I'm one of those friends. But if you like it, I love it. Like, right. And I'm gonna get in, and I want you to be in a best position, because in January, the Dappers, Fort Worth Dappers, had the Players Ball Club at Club Silk. The Players Ball, girl. Let me tell you something.
She doesn't even smoke, but it was
everything. Those player balls at those hole in the walls, to see those old men come in those suits, ain't nothing like that. Nothing.
That was the equivalent of the okay.
Yes.
For me. Okay.
It was great.
I don't have a wardrobe for the Players Ball.
I don't know.
Yeah, get one.
You're right. Thank you, Coy. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have the monetary resources, nor do I have a connection to a clothing emporium that would.
I'm telling you, try the Players Ball. The Players Ball, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Here, little Bobby Womack, 110th Street. Oh my God.
Well, I hear that every time your dog walks. But also the conversation between Ward and Yolanda. Did you watch BMF last night?
Right.
We're going, ooh, I wonder if I can get a picture of this. Did you watch BMF last night?
And they had no idea what we were talking about. Oh my God. So anyway, but Coy, it's probably, I bet you have friends when you go do your drifting in your car. I'm sure you have friends to be like,
do you have friends that are like, okay?
Yeah, no, they won't. They think I'm still like, they think I'm really like doing like super stunts in my car and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, this is
they
like
don't
my
even
everyday.
know what it is.
They don't. I'm like, this is my everyday car. Like, I'm not doing that in this car. You will know when
you like meeting and watching all of those goings on.
Mm-hmm. They think I'm out here like going to these illegal meetups and then running from police all the time. I'm like, no, that's not a good time. No. I've done that probably once, twice.
Is it then?
So our car club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that puts on different community events. Like, we do drives for back to school. And
what are
supplies?
Drives?
Like a drive to get donations for school supplies for back to school. We've done we call it a ride by for birthdays for kids. Like, we've had a young boy who was turning 4, and we did a parade in front of his house because he was still going through his cancer treatment, so he couldn't have a birthday. And he couldn't, have friends over and stuff like that because his immune system was compromised. So we got everybody together in the local area car clubs to do an entire parade in front of his house. We do stuff like that.
So, but
That's our club, car club.
okay, but for your events in terms of what you do for the at the car clubs,
Mhm.
not the drives, not all of the good things that you
Oh
do,
yeah,
but
like just the car meetups.
yeah, car meetups.
Everybody doesn't want to come to that because they're afraid that they're going to get arrested, or a lot of people don't have the enthusiasm that I have about cars and seeing the different engines and how you can customize them. Engine parts can be different colors and just mats matching the ceiling, and the
See,
different
like my eyes
wing
are
doors
glazing
and
over right
Me
now
too,
because
yeah,
Coy.
the
You
they have
have
no
no
lights, the
idea.
idea.
sound systems. Oh, the sound systems.
Hey,
Oh, I love the
Coy.
sound system and
Coy, did
pipes.
you see Black Family Mafia?
BMF.
I'm kidding.
I didn't.
I'm
I gotta
kidding.
catch up. I didn't watch it yet, but I
I'm
am.
kidding.
But I
I'm kidding
will.
you.
Don't tell me what happened.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
no.
just. I mean,
I like the
that's
stars, the moon, and the sun, but I like BMF too.
Okay, well, you're there with me and you're there with Yolanda. So,
Yes,
okay, okay, okay.
no.
I
I'm just
am.
saying your car talk to me. It sounds the same thing as the moon talk to
But
me.
Yeah.
Yolanda likes an old car. She does like the old classics, and so and I think that's where she and her nephew Don connect too, in their love for the
Coy,
old
you've seen
classics.
my classic, haven't you?
Yes, I did, and
Yes.
I love it.
1966 convertible Mustang in mint condition.
Mm-mm-mm. I will love it. Oh my
What's
gosh.
that look?
In what kind of condition?
Mint condition.
Oh, okay, okay.
No. It's in mint condition. I could sell that at high price. I'm not sure. Sybil, hold on. Stop the presses. Stop the show.
No, no,
What you
no, no,
trying
She
to
no,
said
say
no.
we
about
finna talk about
my
my
car?
I'm
car.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
It's a beautiful car, and you know what? It helped me develop biceps
Shifting the
because it is
gears
because
or
the
turning the steering
original
wheel.
because there's no power steering.
no
Yeah.
power steering, no disc brakes, no
Right.
mirror. It is as if it rolled off the floor in 66. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, convertible. It's nice and
You gotta
good
turn
living.
your head to look. See
Yo,
what
it is.
Yeah,
It's a lot
there's
of
a lot
that.
of that.
There's a lot of that. Do we have people who have events,
Not a
Yolanda?
lot.
Okay, okay, all right.
Oh,
Yep.
and me with the band too. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That one's deep.
Oh, your band,
All right.
Yes.
with
Oh
high school
my
and
gosh.
college.
Both. Yes.
Do you
Both.
still like watching? Because I feel the same way
Mhm.
about the HBCU halftime, and I don't have any interest in that. But
What?
yeah,
That's the best part of the game.
That's
I
what
know.
most
That's what
people
y'all
come
say.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
yeah.
say
they
halftime
come
is
for the
showtime.
halftime. Yep.
It's a whole lot of fanfare for what is that? 15 minutes. They prepare for that for months. For
Trust
that,
and believe you've done that for less. A lot of fanfare for not even 15.
you're
It's
I'm just
right.
that.
saying.
It's the
I'm just
parade going into the stadium. It's the parade going out of the stadium. It's the parades that we would do going to practice and leaving practice. It's a lifestyle. It is a
Oh, you're an
lifestyle.
interesting girl. You got a wide array of interests.
I do. I don't like to be bored. So I like to
What would
educate
be the most
myself and have fun in
unusual
different
thing that
ways.
you have an interest in that would
Oh, that's a good
surprise
question.
people?
The most unusual thing. Uh
Do you collect something that people like, why would you do that? Or do you,
plants, crystals.
okay,
I mean, I think those are kind of understandable.
right.
Um, I don't know. I used to have a thing with animals. I still do. I just don't have any in the house. I said I draw the line at having a bunch of them in the house, but my interactions with them are amazing. I used to have lizards that I would catch all the time, frogs, turtles, birds.
Are you
And
open
your
to like?
parents encourage you to do that?
I just would go outside and do it. I would
Oh,
just do it.
and the
Are you
next thing
open to like mice, rats, rodents?
the
Yeah,
like
but I don't really want to
cobras
have
and
them.
You're
Like I
open to them?
Yeah, like I've had friends that had gerbils and stuff like that. Hamsters.
I had
Those are really
hamsters
fun. Those
growing
are
up.
real fun. I don't like how they smell though,
Sybil, you
but
had a hamster?
I had three
yeah.
hamsters.
I don't
What's the
mind
difference between a
snakes.
hamster and a rat?
Hamsters are
Hair
bigger. But well, yeah, the hair
and
too. But
hair.
hamsters are like wide.
And but I've never it was so disturbing to me that my mother had to get rid of them. And I
Huh?
don't mean the having the hamsters. We had Robin Hood and Little John. It was during my classics period. And Hood was the female, and she got pregnant and had the babies. And then I don't know what the situation was, but she ate all the babies.
That happens sometimes. They
And
do that. I
I
forgot
had
why.
to. It was so disturbing to me that I had to. That my mother said we can't have this.
Wow,
And
this story sure took a
it
left.
took another unusual and ugly turn. Look at the time.
Really?
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
God
Yeah, I
And
have
dang.
a lot
Joy's
of I have a
fault. She
lot
was
of
talking about
unusual.
unusual animals and things that she has.
Yeah,
So
I love
I
them.
will
They
never
love
have
me
a
too.
snake. You'll never have to worry about that.
I
Snakes
love
and
snakes.
spiders and stuff like that. No.
I don't mind spiders. Well,
Oh my.
I got over my fear of them, so now when I see them, I actually like pick them up with something and I just take them outside or I put them in a corner. No,
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah.
it's alive.
Uh
It
huh.
serves a purpose
It
as long
sure
as it ain't
does.
poisonous.
Sure. And I take it and I tell, bam.
That's
And then
awful.
I know that is awful. I'm terrible. Okay, let's move to trending. I'm just the worst. Let's move to trending topics. We talked about the solar eclipse and how great it was, and we're already planning the trip for the next one, and that is going to be in 2 years, and it's going to be in the Middle East and Africa.
I thought it was 2020
Really?
No,
40
2027.
seven. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3 years.
What part of Africa? I want to go.
Um, Egypt.
Egypt.
Oh, I got to go to the pyramid with all my
Coy, you
crystals.
are not going to Egypt to see an
Yes, I
eclipse.
am. I'm gonna be right up under there with my crystals.
With your crystal. And a lot of people are planning to go, whether for today, a lot of people went to Mazatlan to Mexico, all the way up to our friend Stephen Hill was in Maine. That was the last state where you had totality, and then it moved off into up into Canada,
Oh man.
and so it was, and a lot of people took their kids out of school today. Yolanda, did your nieces and nephew were they out
I
of
don't
school today?
know.
No.
I don't know.
There were
I
some
doubt.
schools
I
closed
doubt if
here.
their mother
Yeah.
would have approved them being out of school for that.
Right.
This has been an extraordinary couple of days for me. So very happy this weekend. Women's college basketball at its finest, and I think that the true winner that should have won, and that was University of South Carolina under the direction of the great Dawn Staley. The South Carolina women completed their perfect season, ending Caitlin Clark's college career with an 87-75 win over Iowa in the NCAA championship Sunday afternoon. The Gamecocks went 38-0 and became the 10th Division One school to go through a season without a loss. Just phenomenal. And with two freshmen on their team, starters. They lost all of their starters last season,
Mm.
and
Wow.
she started all over again. And I love Dawn Staley. She's so old school. She goes, and my freshies came through. And I was like, I haven't heard freshie
That's
since I was a freshie. And that
that's
was a long time ago.
that's
But she had two young women, and then this huge Brazilian woman. She's 6 feet 7 inches tall,
Dang.
and she handled that basket. She was slapping the balls and getting those rebounds and defending the goal. It was a sight to behold. And all Caitlin Clark could do is like, got to give it to him. But she was a real class act in this because all of the attention that had gone to her in the season that she's had, but she was a real class act in because you see today you see a lot of kids when they're going through the line and congratulating each other or a good game or whatever, and she did it with every single person, the coaches, the trainers, and everybody on South Carolina, and she was just very, very, she was kind, she was nice and respectful, and even Coach Staley said she lifted our game, she took it to a whole nother level because of the season that she had, and she really is. I was not a Caitlyn fan after last year with the whole Angel Reese and that whole thing between them. But she played this year, and you got to give it to her. She took the game not only to another level, but the popularity of the game.
Right.
They set television records this postseason, especially. And they set a new record. 18.7 million viewers, became the most viewed women's basketball game of all time.
Wow.
And the broadcast peaked at 24 million viewers. It was the most watched basketball game since 2019. So,
So it was a
congratulations.
good game.
Yeah, it was a good game all the way around. And Dawn Staley got her third um, championship, and now she's in the pantheon of the big time winners, including the coach of Connecticut, Pat Summit, the late Pat Summit, and Kim Mulkey. Not so much a Kim Mulkey fan, but I love absolutely. And she took folks to church yesterday. She really did. She said, "I serve an awesome God," and then she commenced to preaching, and and the TV cameras had to stay on her because she had them. So it was great. It was really
That's
great.
cool.
I want to get my South Carolina championship T-shirt. This is good news. A single Powerball ticket worth $1.326 billion, a single ticket, and that was sold in Portland, Oregon. This is the fourth largest Powerball jackpot in the game history, and the winner has a year to come forward in order to get their prize per the state law. Players in Oregon, with few exceptions, cannot remain anonymous. There are a number of states that say you got to tell us who you are. What difference does it make? A representative with the Oregon Lottery said the lucky ticket holder um, had the choice of claiming their prize, and that was let's see, the annualized prize of $1.36 billion over 20 payments, or you could get a lump sum of 621 million. Which one would you all choose?
I
Because
would go over,
Mm,
I would go over the period of time.
you would.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't need the lump
guaranteed.
sum
Because you know what?
because I don't need anything. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's beautiful. You don't need to put it in the bank and save it
No,
for a
no,
rainy
I
day.
don't. No.
Can't
I,
you
okay,
can't that
but you
be
know what? When I win, I'm sorry, Coy, I'm gonna get to you. When I win, I'm gonna give you a payment a year.
Okay.
Is that what you want?
I
Okay.
would rather that,
Okay.
really.
Okay. All right. I'll remember that.
And I would advise that to other people because most people aren't financially responsible enough to spread it out over a period of time. Most people are responsible. If they have it, they will spend it.
Mhm.
No, I had it and I didn't spend it, but I wish I had. Coy, what about you? Would you want the 20 payments or you want the lump sum?
I'll take the 20 payments. And then I just wonder, I think I might know the answer to this question. I'm not sure. But like if something happens to the person that wins the that prize and they have, the structured payments, how does that work in terms of, their legacy, whoever they
Right.
leave
Yeah. Can you
their
will
estate to?
that
Right.
to somebody else?
I think that's kind of what will help me determine which one I would take. I would rather take the payments, because I feel like that you're a lot more responsible with the payments. A lot of people I feel like that take that lump sum, they end
Mhm.
up spending it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's facts. I don't know. You have to feel that. That's facts.
the annuity option, you receive one immediate payment followed by 29 annual payments. And this is the good news. Each payment increases by 5% every year.
Ooh.
So I still think, life's short. Give it to me now.
Well, we heard a story today
Oh,
of some people who are, I think, 85
an
and
88.
88 that's still working because they have to, because sometimes life ain't short.
Yeah. But in my family history, it's short. So
Shut up. What's your next story, Sybil?
um
And look at you living long.
I'm outliving them, but I'm not sure how much longer. There's a recall. Do you guys use the Tide pods, the washing machine pods that the little plastic
The
pods?
ones that people been complaining about for a few years now.
Right, right.
Okay, go ahead.
So 8.2 million packets of Tide, Gain, Ace, and Ariel detergent pods have been recalled over faulty packaging. Millions of pockets of the popular laundry detergent pods made by Procter and Gamble have been recalled due to faulty packaging, which poses a serious risk of accidental ingestion by little children and may cause facial injuries, according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. The recall involves Tide, Gain Flings. Those are those funny commercials. The ladies, I'm your fairy. Gain Flings, Ace, and Ariel liquid laundry detergent pod pockets made between September 2023 and February of this year, sold in the flexible film bags in the United States. And the outer packaging can split open near the zipper track, they say, posing a risk where they may become vulnerable to exposure to the contents. I know, Michelle. I know.
For sure.
And I could have gone even I could have made it even worse because I have one about hand sanitizer. I know I'm on a theme today about sorry, Michelle's okay. Okay, first chicken and now detergent pods. Um, but there is the recalled products were sold at Big Lots, CVS, Family Dollar, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Target, Walmart, and Amazon. And they are priced between $5 for a 12 count bag and $30 for the 439 count bags in a box. So be careful with those products. If you don't have children, don't worry about it. Um,
Right.
and I'm going to save the hand sanitizer for another day, Michelle. I know. Chicken.
Well, I ignore. I didn't. I'm telling you, I had to tune you out for the chicken one. I couldn't hear it.
I know.
So
I know. I know. And for chicken lovers or for people that just not love it, but that's the only protein that they can really take. Um, that's not a good way to end it. A New York
Mm-mm.
appellate judge today denied Donald Trump's bid to delay his April 15th criminal trial on charges stemming from the hush money that they say took from his campaign to pay Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet after he had the affair with her. That trial is scheduled to start next Monday, the 15th. He had a last minute request. His lawyers put in a last minute request to delay it and to change the venue because once again, he doesn't like the judge. Um, so he sought to change it, asking that it be removed from New York State altogether. The judge said no, no. We start next Monday, and we're going to be in New York State. So there you go. Check this out. There are some airports you can go in and when you check your luggage and you go to the carousels and you can just pick up your luggage and walk
Mhm.
away. There's some where they have I think this is in Los Angeles especially, Yolanda, where they have people who will check your baggage claim tags, right? In Houston, the police department is hoping to identify two people who stole luggage at George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Surveillance footage captured two unidentified suspects, and no, they weren't.
good.
They're suspected of stealing luggage from the baggage claim valued at $6,000. The suspects
Golly.
quickly left the scene in a white Ford F-150, a 1990s style Ford F-150 with damage to the passenger side. And he didn't say whether it had a "Let's Go Brandon" bumper sticker on it or not. But they are giving out like those police departments are giving up to $5,000 if your information leads to the arrest or information of the
So
whereabouts.
the security camera saw them at baggage claim and to go out to the car.
Yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't even in baggage claim. It was another building, and they saw them, and it was connected
No.
to the time that they saw them leave, and the people came up and said our luggage is gone, and they made the connection with these people.
So no DOT cameras or anything like that?
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
Yeah, Sybil, I think you and Cameron, y'all need to do more stories to let us know that everything is recorded.
Yeah, that's true. That's
We
true.
need a public service announcement for those of us who who be in devilment.
Don't put yourself in that. You're not in devilment.
Saying the 80s anymore.
It's a good
Right.
thing. It's a good thing. Because if she was doing the things now that she did back then, whoa. Oh my. Let's
Endevilment.
move. Devilment. Yeah. Yeah, that's a Mother Dear word. Um, in entertainment, a good news for actor Jonathan Majors. He was sentenced today to a domestic violence treatment program. No jail time after he was found guilty on two charges related to the battery of his former girlfriend, misdemeanor assault in the third degree, and recklessly causing physical injury, as well as harassment in the second degree. The 1 year in person batterers intervention program will be in Los Angeles, where he works as an actor, and he has did face up to a year in jail time for his conviction. So that is good for him.
It's not good because he was innocent. And
Well, no, no, I
why
mean,
didn't the DA bring charges against this woman who
well, that's a whole nother story. But as far as his having to do
Mm,
jail time, he can continue to
You
do
thought he was going to do jail time?
that was a real consideration
Oh,
because this woman was so insistent and the DA and all of that. I thought this was a black man that was going to do some time. I really did.
I can't believe they believed him.
Well, I don't think they did. I don't think they necessarily did, the juror or the judge, but enough so that he did not have to pay in jail and that he will do his time as a part of this domestic violence program. And I don't think that's a bad thing because anybody who has the anger issues that he admitted to,
right.
then I don't think it's a bad thing that he should be going into some sort of program.
Well, we all could use that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Boy,
I don't like that
I'm with
DA. I say vote for somebody else next year.
Well, go to Coy's Instagram and you'll see that what she's talking about, and what the necessity is for a DA that is for people that look like us as opposed to people that don't.
So
Um,
wait, so what type of trial did he have?
he had a jury trial.
So that's not the DA's fault. That was the jury.
But the DA recommended the charges. He
Yeah,
didn't want to pursue
charges.
charges against the
They
woman.
didn't have to file charges
Got it.
against this guy.
Okay.
Yolanda, you want to give us the jewel for the day?
Yes. Today's jewel is kind of long, so stick with me because it's necessary. This week we're talking about
I said the same thing about the eclipse.
we're talking about personal respite care. When you feel tired, burnout, confused, or stressed, consider embracing a personal respite care break to rejuvenate your mind, your soul, and your body. With that, Sybil, I've had a couple of people ask me about my eye. And so just a quick update. I allowed myself some respite care. Coy, last week I had a big mass over my eye that I didn't know about. And my best friend let me walk around looking crazy. And so I took time out this weekend and I just took some respite care because I was really, really stressed out and my eye is going down. And so really do think that it was stress induced. I really believe that stress, it has to manifest itself in some way. And I believe that's how it was manifesting itself. And so I got some sleep. I went on this silent retreat. It was beautiful. I feel so much better understanding that there's still the stress is still there, but it is a lot better. So this week we are really, and with all of the stress that it appears you're under, every time I talk to you, Coy, you are ragged.
Mm.
And so hopefully you will consider some personal respite to protect, your mind, your soul, and your body.
And
Yes.
and I would like to get some respite and find out why they spelled this word respite, because another word despite is despite, but respite is respite. Why?
Because English.
That's how they see.
That's what you want to know.
They tricking us. They trying to
That's
trick
what you
us.
want to know.
I got in trouble many a time in spelling class and in English because I refused to go along with respite and
I would have
rest.
loved to see that.
Oh my goodness, Coy, that's too much.
It's
That's just too
ridiculous.
much, Sybil.
Oh, and Yolanda, before we go, can I just thank the great folks um, at Saintsville yesterday? They just gave me a wonderful moment and took me back to my early childhood days at my grandparents' church in Kansas City. The reading of James 9, and it was a really great memory for me, and I
It was
really
beautiful,
appreciate that.
Coy. We're sitting in the audience, and when the pastor saw Sybil, he's like, "Oh, we have Sybil Wilkes. Oh, she's used to this. Come on up." So she had to come up, and she read the whole chapter. It was, and she got it, Coy. She got into it because at one point she was saying, "And when he walked into the room, he took a step." No, I'm kidding.
You're not right. You're not right. Say goodnight, Yolanda.
Good night, Yolanda.
Thank you, Coy.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.